I'm here this morning with Phyllis Little, who's one of our tenants in a larger flat at Lister, which has had solar energy fitted, and Phyllis is kindly here to talk to us about how she's got on. It was fitted last July, and we're now in March 2010, so she's had a good 6-9 months of activity. Obviously during the winter period there's less sun, but we're here to ask Phyllis some questions about how she's experienced it as a tenant living in the flat. So Phyllis, how much has the installation of solar panels in your flat changed the way you run your household?
Well, really just before I had the water on constantly because having 4 children in the house, washing up, I needed hot water readily available. So I had to get used to not having the gas on and relying on leaving it during the day, but it was warm enough for showering. And I've just got used to that now, that I just go into the cupboard and feel the pipes, basically, see how hot it is. I have a look at the temperature thing on the wall. But really it's just the remembering not to keep the gas on.
Fuel bills, has it made much of a difference to your electricity bills? Have you been able to see that in number terms?
I did, especially for the period into July, October last year, because I wasn't using central heating. So I'll know that that was coming from my water, and it's halved the consumption. But I don't think it was reflected in money because of the pricing. But I mean, you know, it's still not not using so much gas.
Good. Of interest to us at Lister is we've obviously, as the landlord, fitted the solar water heating, and you as a tenant have been sort of the passive recipient. But obviously to get the best out of the system, we want the people in the flats to be able to use it to the best advantage to maximise the free solar hot water. So how does that been for you to, you know, have that fitted for free, but obviously requiring you to engage and think about its use? How's that been for you, Phyllis?
At first, I was struggling with the remembering to, and for the children to remember when they wanted to shower, they didn't have to switch the water thing on. But I haven't noticed real advantages or disadvantages. To me, it just seems it's the same, apart from I'm not consuming the gas.
Good. And if you got any advice for someone who's, you know, in a similar situation, going to have solar panels fitted, in terms of what you would advise as a tenant who's had this done to you, so to speak, how would you, any particular advice to them?
Well, if they're a tenant like me and getting it done for free, then there's absolutely go for it, because there's, you know, you'll see in the house there's no great big wiring or anything that's different. It's all contained within a cupboard and in the loft space. The only I've got one small panel on the wall and a little bit of sort of tubing. Apart from that, it's just remembering that you've got to not really monitor, but just change what you were doing with your relying on timings or leaving the boiler running.
And do you feel more greener? You feel more, does it give you a more satisfying feeling that your household is greener because of this?
Oh yeah, definitely, because, you know, I'm like mad for recycling, as you know, so for me it's like something I wouldn't be able to do for myself. And because we're living in these older houses where you're restricted on what you can do, that it's giving us the opportunity to do our bit. And obviously the carbon footprint must be lower because my consumption's so much lower.
And what does Edinburgh City Council think about the Lister housing project?
Well, it's been a hugely important project for the city. Edinburgh Council sets some of the highest and most ambitious targets in Europe for sustainability and renewable energy within the city. And this project has really helped us understand how to deliver these projects on the ground.
And what was the process by which Lister Housing actually got planning permission for this project?
Well, Changeworks approached the council about 3 years ago to discuss the potential for solar panels on listed buildings within the World Heritage Site. Now, we'd never been involved in a project like this before, and certainly solar panels were seen as being an interesting issue on listed buildings. So we set up a working group to look at the potential for this, which led in the end to Lister submitting the application for the solar panels and eventually receiving planning permission.
Have you learnt a lot through doing this project with Lister Housing?
We certainly have. In the future, we'll be looking at this as a piece of best practice for the city, which we'll be hopefully rolling out as part of a wider range of community schemes, particularly looking at conservation areas and listed buildings.
And what do you think about the future of solar energy for Edinburgh?
Well, the Council's very positive towards the use of solar energy within the city. One such project that we're looking at supporting is for the wider Grange conservation area, looking at renewables in an area of significant architectural quality. We're willing and happy to support other projects that come along with our expertise and professional advice in achieving renewable schemes in the city.
So this project really has made a difference?
Certainly has.
So from this historic capital of Edinburgh, we leave you with these thoughts, that the solar industry here not only has huge potential, but is already woven into the very fabric of our economy, our industries, our institutions, and our everyday lives. Solar energy has a proven, profitable, and very bright future for us all here in Scotland.